Hey everybody, it's Jill Blanchett with Green Thumb Stampers. I'm here with my alternates for the Autumn Abundance kit that we got in September. This is what the kit made. Here's my first alternate that we will make right now. It starts out with a half a sheet of Very Vanilla at 8.5 by 5.5. And this looks to be a little bit bigger than 5.5, so I'm going to trim it down. We're going to score it at 4 1/4, or you could just fold it in half. This is a fun way to also make sure that you get your fold in a good spot. If you just fold it up against the edge of your trimmer, you get a nice even fold. I have this card is going to use one of the blue cards from the kit. I say blue, but it's not really blue. It's just got the blue in it. We're going to cut this in half, and we're going to use one piece of it. So you can save this, you can use it for something else. So we're going to go ahead and cut this down to, you want 3 1-inch pieces, and they are 3.5 inches tall. So you'll cut kind of, across there. And then I have some Night of Navy at 1 1/4 inches by 3 3/4 inches that we're going to glue these pieces onto. So we can go ahead and get that going. I'm going to just glue these strips to our Night of Navy. Leaving the nice size border all around. You could cut them down if you want. You don't need to. Make them a little bit smaller. I guess that looks like it's on there pretty good. My eyes are a little wonky today, so my right eye's not wanting to focus properly, so we'll see how this works out. All right, and then we're going to just glue these on the front. Go ahead and measure them if you want, so that you've got an even spacing all around. Let's see if I put this up here, what we get. So 2 lines is about 1/2 inch. And we'll go up 1/4 inch. Let's see, about 1/2 inch. And let's see if we come in 1/2 inch, what we got. That looks pretty good. And I'm just using the lines on my grid, on my glass mat here, to kind of get a feel for like 1/2 inch in, 1/4 inch up, 1/4 inch down. That looks good. And then you can put these on. So when I cut them, this one actually goes here. You can cut them and keep them in order if you want. Change them up a little bit if you want. And I think I want some blue to show on this one, so I'm going to go ahead and put them on like that. So let's go ahead and get our pieces down. So again, I went about 1/4 inch up and 1/2 inch over. We're going to go right there. Second one, we're coming in about 2 more lines, 1/2 inch over. Trying to line it up with the bottom of that one. And the same with this one. We'll come see what we get if we come in 1/2 inch from the left. Should be good. Make sure your pieces are all pushed down real good to glue them on there. I have a piece of the envelope from the square card. I did not bring it over, but we're going to use that. It's got some texture look to the back of it, so we're going to go ahead and use that and build up from there on this piece. This piece is 2 inches by 3 inches. And then we're going to just have a piece of scrap berry vanilla. I've got a 1 3/4 inch circle punch. You can use a circle die if that's what you have. That works just as well. I'm going to get out my Cajun Craze ink pad. And I'm just going to roll this circle through the ink just to give some color to that border. And then we're going to stamp the words in Night of Navy. That's going to help bring out the blue in the card. So my stamp set, we've got the Thinking of You in it. I'm going to just pick that up, get some ink on that, and I'm going to go up in kind of the upper left a little bit so that we got some room for our snail down in the lower right piece portion. And then we're going to take the rest of our Very Vanilla and we're going to stamp the, I'm going to call this an oak leaf. We're going to stamp that on there in, we'll use Real Red. And my ink pads are real juicy. I was hoping to get a variation of the ink. Let's see if I can just, it came out all pretty dark. I was hoping to get kind of like some variation to the color like there without having to get out any extra tools to like watercolor or whatever. But this works just fine too. We're gonna go with it. We're gonna do the same thing with the aspen leaf or birch leaf or whatever kind of leaf that one is. And I'm gonna use pumpkin pie. Again, my ink pads are juicy. I've been to a couple different retreats and I juiced them all up before I left. So then we've got our 2 leaves, and because all of the leaves on the cards have dark centers, I'm going to go up and draw like some dark lines with my marker on the space where those little lines would be, because my pad being so juicy kind of filled it in with ink. But I'm going to come through with this marker and just draw them in, and kind of give them a little bit of their own space in there. Okay, so now, oh, and I got to do a snail. So we want to give him a little body. Did I save enough space for my snail on here? Let's see, I got to get a little tiny block for his body. And we're going to do his body in crumb cake. I forgot about him when I was using up my paper. So we'll come over this way with him so that right on the edge, and then I'll be able to cut it out. So we got his little body on there, and then I'm going to again use the Cajun Craze for his little shell, which is also on the stamp set. I find what I did with the stamp set. And we're gonna go, we want this circle to start kind of on his back. So we're going to come down here a little bit, stick the shell on him like so, and then I'm going to pause you while I cut all this stuff out. I'm just using my regular paper scissors, and I'm going to cut these 3 pieces out, and I'll be right back. All right, so I have these all cut out now. We are going to take some pecan pie on this little piece here and use our sprig that's in our kit. And I'm just going to ink up part of it. I'm just going to try and do this part here because I'm just going to try and go around on this paper to get them to stick out from underneath the where we're going to put the circle. So you can kind of, you know, check it out like that. Obviously I want more. They need to go way out, probably almost to the edge of our paper to get them to show good. So you can just keep checking it out like this with your circle. I think that looks pretty good. I'll put a couple more up here toward the top just to fill that in. So there we go. Now we're going to, I just did all of this part flat. So we're going to get some glue. And we're just going to measure how we want. So we'll put our circle on like that and just kind of give a look to how we want our leaves to stick out. If you want them to stick way out, it doesn't matter if they stick out over the side of the brown piece or not. So I'm just squirting a little glue underneath them. We're going to stick them on there. And again, I'm going to stick this circle on flat. Looks pretty good. And then I'm going to pop up the little snail guy. Find my... Well, I didn't bring over any dimensionals. We're going to use my not so dimensional dimensionals and just put one on the back of the snail and pop it up down here at the bottom of the paper like that. You can move it over closer to filling that in if you want. Filling in your circle. I'm going to leave him off. Then we're going to go ahead and cut up some more dimensionals and we're going to raise this piece up. I'm sticky today. Okay. Might need some more, we'll see. My friend Kathy, according to what she did over the weekend, would probably put about 35 pieces of dimensional on the back of this. But we're not gonna. So if you're worried about it getting crushed in the mail, if you're gonna mail these, and you're worried about them getting crushed, then, you know, by all means, go hog wild with your dimensionals. I'm not usually too worried, but I don't know what my cards look like when they get where they're going. So if you get a card from me and it's all smushed, then send me a message. Tell me that I need to put more dimensionals. So there we go. I'm just going to leave it like that. You can go ahead and stamp more inside if you want. I'm going to put a leaf in there. So where's my red? I'm going to just put one of these. I don't know if I could put both of them or not. Let's see if I put an oak leaf. I guess I might have space to put the other one too. So let's kind of want to put their stems kind of together. And that's good. We're going to call that good. Just a little something on the inside. I'll go over them again with this pecan pie marker, just a Stampin' Write marker. It's not one of the alcohols, it's just a basic marker. Just to give it that little bit of brown that will help. So there we go, everybody. There's our first card in our card kit.